Hello and welcome to Call to Arms, and thank you for answering the call. And welcome to our Battlecry episode 15, I believe. And yeah, we're going over the brand new Age of Sigmar General's Handbook for Season 2 of 22 to 23. So super excited to chat about this. And we have, once again, we have my regular co-host for these things. We've got Mr. Nathan Watson. How are we doing, Nathan?
Hello, I'm doing alright.
Good man. I'm very well, thanks. Yeah, no, I'm all good. So yeah, brand new season. It's our next 6-month instalment, General's Handbook. How are you feeling about it, Nathan? What's your kind of your juices flowing for this? Are you happy? Are you sad? What's going on in your mind right now?
Yeah, no, I wasn't the biggest fan of the last GHB. I think we kind of covered it a little bit during I think it was we started doing these during the last battle scroll.
Yeah.
And yeah, no, I liked the monster one, and I've not really liked this one so much. The bounty hunters and the expert conquerors, and yeah, but no, I'm liking the look of this one. This one looks a little bit better. Step in the right direction. Battle tactics look a bit hard. Maybe going to need to really think about your lists a bit more.
Yeah.
I think we thought the battle tactics looked quite hard in the last one, and then when we started playing it, we're like, nah, it's just dead easy.
Yeah.
But if you've not got a couple of good battle tome ones, might be a bit hard in this one to just stick with the same list.
For sure, no, for sure. I think I think yeah. When you said that you didn't like the last GHB so much, the first thing that came into my head was the Bounty Hunters Battalion. That seemed to be a very unwelcome pick for a lot of people. I absolutely loved that battalion. I just couldn't. Just absolutely loved it. But I could totally understand why it's not good for the game as well. Totally understand why. So yeah. So that's completely gone. So as you said, we've got Bounty Hunters is gone. We've got Expert Conquerors gone. We've got some new we just got some new GHB stuff. In terms of rules, we've got new missions as well. New battle plans to play. They've kept some of the existing ones and there've been some slight tweaks. We've got some new stuff as well. And yeah, with the battle tactics, yeah, so it is looking like it's going to be a bit more challenging. Certainly, if you're not taking your list into it to be able to do some of these battle tactics, you're going to struggle. And yeah, if you've not got good battle tactics in your tome as well, then yeah, it's going to be maybe an uphill struggle for you. So very interesting to see, and also quite interesting to see maybe some of the armies that just don't care. They just don't care about the book battle tactics and just are going to do well regardless, which is just going to be just really funny to see.
The grand strategies are maybe going to be the biggest deal. Thinking about it, because the kill all battle line one's gone, right?
It's gone, yeah.
And the have any battle line unit wholly in the center of the battlefield gone.
So show dominance, that was a kind of a favourite pick for a lot of people that had quite a lot of galley vets. That was a big one. I really liked that one. When I was playing Nighthaunt and stuff like that.
Have more in your enemy territory, is that?
Yeah, so take what's theirs. I think it's looking like that's maybe going to be the go-to, I think. Which is have more units in your opponent's territory than they have units in their own territory. So I think that was one that a lot of people were going for anyway, potentially, unless they had a really good book grand strat, or as I say, lots of galley vets maybe were going for show of dominance. But I think that one potentially could just be the right. If there's nothing else really better, that's going to be your go-to. I think.
I think so, yeah. Like looking at them, I don't really see any that seem all that achievable for a lot of the armies I've been playing. The ones I've been playing don't have achievable ones in their books, so like Stormcast don't really have a grand strat.
No, there's some rough ones definitely out there.
Yeah.
But yeah, so lots of new things. But before we get any further, just want to say thank you to everyone. So thanks everyone for joining in. I'll just check in on chat. So we've got Richard McQuarrie saying evening all. John Bayliss. He's no longer the reigning master, Mr. Bayliss. He has been dethroned by Mr. Andy Curry. So that was a cracking weekend that we just had there, Scottish Masters. So welcome. He still beat me, so I'm very salty about it. So 2 points, John. 2 points in it, John. See that Demon Prince, that Corn Demon Prince. Oh Get lost, man.
Illegal corn
Get
demon prints.
exactly the legal dead book corn demon prints and a dead book Mindstealer Sphinx as well. Pfft, get out of here. And then I've got Thomas Backhouse saying hello as well. So yeah, welcome everyone. And please, by all means, if you've got any questions at all about this new GHB or just anything like list advice, whatever, please put it in chat and me and Nathan will do our best to answer anything. So yeah, so thanks to everyone there. And then also thank you to all the sponsors. I'm sure you've heard me banging on about it already. We've got the new monthly giveaway. Please remember to comment down below in the comment section. So you have to like the video, be a subscriber and comment with the I answered the call. Then put your name in the hat for the January monthly giveaway. This is the last video you're going to be able to do this. So please make sure you're going in that comment section on YouTube, not on any of the podcast formats, and put I answered the call, and I'll get your name in a hat, and we'll see if you get some cool goodies. And yeah, also we've got the Saltire Games as well, 20% off RRP code there on screen as well. So thanks guys. Right, without further ado, that's all the thank yous are over. Let's discuss General's Handbook. Okay, so we've touched on a few new things kind of already, so let's just go straight down into the meat of it. Okay, so we'll go straight. I've went a bit too far. Here we go. Yes, so realm rules. So we've got region of war. We're still in Gallet or Galette or whatever you want, or Gillette, best a man can get. It's Gallet. So yeah, so we've got some new special rules which we'll go through. We've got some additional heroic actions as well. We've also got some a new Realms Sphere Magic spell as well, new Realm Command, new core battalions, all that good stuff. So we'll kind of just very quickly kind of rattle through, and then yeah, we'll just kind of highlight the main bits. So we've got the new thing. We now have Galician champions. Okay, so before in the old General's Handbook we had Galician veterans or Galley vets as they were, or GVs as they were called. So they're gone, completely gone. Now we have Galician champions. So a Galician champion is any hero model that has a win characteristic of less than 10, and they cannot have a mount, and they cannot be unique. Is that everything?
That's it. Yeah.
Perfect. Okay. And what I loved about this is we then had the internet explode with what does a mount mean?
Yeah, it's because there's a little line in the core rules that you need to treat companions as if they were mounts, because there's then somewhere else in the core rules that mounts can't benefit from artifacts or command traits or something like that, right?
Correct.
So yeah, they've just kind of opened up a can of worms with
big old
with all
can
that.
of worms.
But yeah, they did
FAQ
it.
Yeah,
they did say
they have
that
come
for
out.
this rule, companions are not treated as mounts.
Not mounts. Hallelujah.
Just for this rule, though.
Only for this rule. So the world was put to rest. Everyone was fine. Everyone was arguing over whether something counted as a mount or a companion.
Couldn't go into their boats and
because they had little fish companions.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So there we go. So we now have these Galician champions. Okay. We also have a new rule, key to victory. So friendly Galician champions cannot be picked as the target of attacks made with missile weapons while they are within 1 inch of any friendly battle line units. So welcome to 40k, everyone, where you can hide your heroes behind your normal foot troops. So pretty cool. What do we think of this?
Is it 1 inch and 40k?
It's actually a bit less than that, I believe. I think it's no, you still need to be within, but I think it's 3 inches. I think. I mean, I don't know. My head's just full of AOS.
Coherency is bigger and stuff as well.
Yeah, exactly. Coherency is 2 inches. The fight within an inch, all that stuff. But we're kind of segueing into that place where we can maybe hide our squishy heroes that we're just getting plinked out, taking out these little maybe 5-6 wound support heroes that are just easy pickings for good shooting. They're now maybe a wee bit safer. Okay, so what's our thoughts behind this?
It's a nice idea, and we'll need to wait and see how the meta develops to see whether or not it's good. My initial thoughts when I saw it, when I was like, right, okay, it's 1 inch, so it's good for deployment.
Yep.
But it's going to have limited impact beyond that. It's quite hard to do that, like to keep them within 1 inch of an infantry battle line unit for like prolonged periods of time, especially if you want to be doing stuff with your units. Normally, at least the way the game's been played till now, your buff heroes do kind of lag behind
Yeah.
because your infantry units get buffed. They might move the same as the champions, but then they charge into combat or they pile away, casualties get removed. So, yeah, I can see it. I can see it mostly being a good way to protect your stuff
Yeah.
during deployment. But then,
Yeah.
as we'll touch on later, there's ways around it. So,
Yes, indeed. And also, I know you were saying that it's kind of hard to do if you want to do stuff with your other kind of battle line units, but also now you maybe want to do a lot more stuff with your Galician champions as
champions,
well,
correct? Yeah,
which we'll also touch on. So yeah, it's going to be very key. There's going to be a lot of people with those the 1 inch side of the combat gauges, just making sure they're
never been used
always
more.
yeah, exactly, exactly.
Yeah,
So that's fine. We also have another rules here that's called Desperate Action. If you're taking the second turn in the current battle round at the start of your hero phase, you can pick one friendly Galician champion on the battlefield to carry out 2 different heroic actions in that phase instead of one. So if you want to try for a CP and give them an extra unbound, you can do that. If you want to try for a CP and best day
famous star.
ever, whatever
Yeah,
finest hour, you can do that as well. So pretty interesting this one, yeah?
really good. Yeah, I like this
Mm-hmm.
because like sometimes you would want the extra CP, but you're about to lose your champion.
Yep.
You would maybe want to find a star of them. The new
Mm-hmm.
ones that they've added as well, just below this, also play into the fact that you can do two.
Mm-hmm.
So they've got the new ones, the new heroic actions there, strike at the opening and
Yep.
lead by example. So you can fight with your hero, then immediately fight with a bodyguard unit
Mm-hmm.
if you had it, or is it just any unit? I can't even remember. No, a swarm bodyguard. Yeah. So if
Yes.
you've taken the battalion for a swarm bodyguard unit,
Yeah.
you could fight with both of them by doing the two heroic actions, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, that is pretty cool. Yeah, and a nice kind of little combo in there. So yeah, we'll talk about it. So we've got strike at the opening. So that's when you pick one friendly. We'll just call him a galley champ. One friendly galley champ within three
DC.
inch. A GC. There we go. Within 3 inches of an enemy unit, that hero can fight if it's not already fought in that phase. However, that hero cannot fight again in that phase, and the strike last effect applies to that hero until the end of the turn. So you can fight in the hero phase, yeah, but it
Yep.
puts you to fight last, and it means you also until the end of that turn. So when it comes to the combat phase, your strike last, okay? Maybe, but might be not as impactful if you've managed to do a lot of damage to the thing you're in combat with. And then yeah,
Yep.
the lead by example then just means that after your GC has done that, the sworn bodyguard unit, which we'll talk about again because we've got up in a new
Yep.
battalion, they can then immediately pile in and fight. There's obviously there's some distances in there, isn't there? The sworn bodyguard unit has to be wholly within 6 of the GC and within
Mm-hmm.
3 inches of an enemy unit, and yeah, so it might be a bit tight, possibly. I mean, wholly within 6 is not bad, um, but yeah, there's going to have to be some maybe some measuring going on there to make sure you
Yeah.
can get this. Does also mean that you're going to be taking a new battalion, which is going to make you higher drops as well. So it's definitely something to look at. What are the kind of pros and cons? Personally, for me, I'm not really looking into taking into this at all. I don't know. Have you thought about going into this here, Nathan?
I have, but mostly for the battle tactic side of things,
Hmm.
because there is one battle tactic which we'll come to that you can only achieve it if you kill a Galatian champion or a sworn bodyguard unit with a Galatian champion or a sworn bodyguard unit. So, yeah, by taking it, you open up a battle tactic to your opponent,
Yeah,
or you give them an extra opportunity to, because you're going to have GCs anyway.
exactly.
But it's unlikely that you're going to be able to kill. Like GC versus GC isn't going to be the most consistent battle. Do you know what I mean?
I mean,
Um,
you may have some heavy combat GCs out there. Maybe I don't
yeah.
know. Someone will be able to
And
build one.
on the strike at the opening, just to touch on, I think the way that this works, and we can probably mention it now because it involves an older battle tactic that people will be
Yeah.
familiar with. But if you do have a general that is a GC,
Hmm.
then the one this one's mine. I think the way it's worded is you could do this heroic action first, and then if you manage to kill the unit, you
Yeah.
could then pick this one's mine to
Yeah.
instantly score it. So it gives you a bit of flexibility.
Yeah, that's true, and that's something you have to keep in mind for all the battle tactics. That
Yeah.
you, because of the sequencing of start of hero phase, if you've
Hmm.
got things that you could potentially do, and this one says, yeah, heroic actions are at the start as well. You can pick the sequence, so then you can do the thing. If you do manage to do it, then you can pick the battle tactic and you
Hmm.
automatically get it there. So yeah, something to think about, which is awesome. Yeah, Rich is saying Mega Boss on foot, rise up. Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah.
Mega Bosses and Tyrants are
Hmm.
probably
Oh
two
yeah,
of
yeah,
the fightiest ones.
yeah.
Ogroids come to mind as well. I know that there's a couple of them there, mate.
Hmm.
I think I've got a funny feeling the Myrmidon was rubbish in the new Slaves book.
Yeah,
I can't remember,
yeah, it
but
wasn't great.
like monsters like that, those sorts of monster GCs, they'll be good.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Wargog Prophets,
Oh,
man,
don't talk to me about Wargogs. Don't talk to me
because
about Wargogs,
yeah,
Nathan.
like
No.
that's another starter hero phase thing.
Yeah, no,
So
absolutely. Oh, my camera's away. Hey,
cameras away.
camera's away. Away with the fairies there. Yeah, so no, absolutely. That's pretty cool as well. So yeah, so then we've got New Realm Sphere Magic. Now I think this might be a spell that people may remember. Um, I very rarely remembered the Realm Sphere Magic one for last season. What was it?
Never casted it at
Make
all.
something count as half. Yeah, I don't think I ever did as
Yeah.
well. Now this one I could see myself casting. So Grinding Teeth
Okay.
of Galay. This is a spell. It's got a cast value of 6, range of 12. Successfully cast. Pick an objective within range of visible, and you roll a dice for each unit within 6 of that objective. And on a 4-up, suffers D6 mortal wounds. Okay, so this sounds pretty nuts, right? Now, obviously, it's 12 inches, so you need to be kind of danger close. It is still on a 4-up, okay? And I know that, there's kind of lots of dice sequencing here that, yeah, you could roll a 1 to 3 and it doesn't happen. You could roll a 4 and then roll a 1 for your d6 morals, but you could roll big here, and this could cause, if you've got a lot of units sitting on one objective that's just prime target, you're like, yeah, I'm definitely blowing that up, and just seeing if I can do as many morals as possible. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. So yeah, I could definitely see me like a wee clutch pick maybe and something like this. This could potentially win you the game maybe if it goes off, if all the right things go off. Yeah.
A couple of combos I've been thinking about. So
Mhm.
I've spoke to a few people about is it the Scenari Lore Seeker?
Yes. Mhm.
So you can
I think that's the
pre-game
one. Yeah.
set him up, yeah, and then he gets to auto-cast the spell once per game on a casting value of a 9. So yeah, it can be unbound, but it's unlikely to be unbound. And you can get him danger close to the objectives to be able to do the damage, or a Lord Relictor with the Arcane Tome could do this, teleport themselves in the hero phase and get within 12 inches of an objective, maybe.
Yeah.
Depends on the angles.
Mhm.
But yeah, like a couple of cool combos. There's a lot of people talking about how, like, the visibility, like how do you gain visibility to an objective? I think it's quite clear that the intention is talking about like scenery blocking view to the objective, but there are people talking about, well, if I stand my model directly on top of the point of this objective, can you see the point of the objective? Like, is my model presumed to be hovering millimeters above the ground so that you can see it from the underside of your model's foot?
Oh,
Or
that's amazing.
so
I love it.
yeah, so we need to wait
Yeah.
and see how they rule that, because yeah, from what I've seen online, it's like 50-50 people saying, yeah, if you stand in the middle of it, you can't see it, and other people saying, don't be silly. So
I'm definitely in the don't
yeah,
be silly camp. Thanks for that.
yep.
Yep. So my God, people will just rules lawyers themselves into whatever like
I think
thing they
but at
want,
the same
right?
time, everybody thinks objectives are 12-inch diameter circles, but they're
Yeah,
not.
which they're not.
It's
No,
not
absolutely.
40k where you get like a 40 millimeter
Mm-hmm.
is the objective. The objective is a point on the battlefield. Like,
Yeah,
so
as defined. No, absolutely. Just checking on the chat there. John Bayless is saying this one's mine is pick an enemy unit on the battlefield, and he's saying it wouldn't be there to pick. I don't know what he's referring to.
oh no, you're right. You might actually be. That's what I was thinking, is that you could pile in and kill the unit, and then
Oh, I
this
see.
one's mine.
And obviously, if you've killed it, then you
Uh,
can't pick it. Got you. Well done, John. Thank you. Yes,
yep.
good. Well spotted. I like that.
I've had some people this one mind after Wargog killing it, because it all happens at the same time. It was argued that they could do it in that order, but Yeah, I never
Oh, so
realised
they were
it's
saying because
tracking
it's
them.
they were trying to say it's
Yeah,
all happened simultaneously, so you
yeah,
can do it. Yeah, well,
don't know.
I would say
Bit
it's probably
sketchy.
sequential. That's a bit sketchy.
Yeah,
FAQ, we need an FAQ. Right, so then we're on to the realm command. It's just no retreat, no surrender. You can use this command ability to start the combat phase. The unit that received this command must be a friendly unit that's not a hero or monster. It didn't charge in the same turn. It has to be within 3 inches of an enemy unit. The unit cannot make pile-in moves in that phase, but you add 1 to the attack's characteristic of melee weapons used by that unit until the end of that phase, excluding mounts, if any. So, this is basically
yep.
used for when your unit's been charged by something. You then use the command ability to start the combat phase to give them +1 attack, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
So, I can maybe see this coming up, possibly. So, um, usually when one of your units gets charged by another enemy unit, I'd say the go-to command ability you're probably wanting to use is All-Out Defense. Yep,
Yeah.
okay, cool. So that rules that one out. If you've
Yep.
been double charged, so they've charged one unit and another unit, I could maybe then see All-Out Defense in one unit, the one that they activate first, and then possibly using this to then swing back. But then also, you probably want to use All-Out Attack on that unit, right? So then I could definitely see a world. So if you've been triple charged, then maybe you've got the CP. You
And
might then want to give
CPs.
attacks here. So I guess again, you're going to have to weigh out here. If you've been double charged, do you want +1 to hit, or do you want extra attacks? Is what we're looking at here.
Only a limited number of instances where +1 attack is probably better than +1 to hit. But then I'm pretty sure that the first iteration of this rule didn't include the camp pile-in. And the reason I think it's been added is to stop people doing 6-inch pile-ins and getting this command ability.
Yeah.
But, the fact that you could like charge a unit into the side of it, and then if they were to do this command ability, then they wouldn't be able to pile in to be able to take advantage of the extra attacks. I think it's going to have limited impact, but I think that there's a couple of there are a couple of different ideas that I've got around it for like Stormcast and stuff. Because you've got units like Paladin Protectors. You maybe don't need All-Out Defense. They already get a +1 to save on their War Scroll. They might already be Mystic Shielded, so All-Out Defense maybe won't be impactful for them, and giving them an extra attack, Rend 2 attacks, pretty decent. They're hitting on 3s and 3s already, so you might even have them +1 to win. So yeah, no, I could see that being a cool thing. And then there's like other combinations with other things that are in this as well, like the being able to fight with the hero, then immediately fight with the Swarm Bodyguard battalion. You could take like an Azeros with the Quicksilver Draft, so it fights at the start of the start of the combat phase, and then you would immediately get to fight with this unit as well, if they were in Swarm Bodyguard, which is quite cool.
That's pretty cool. Cool. Yeah. So some decent cases for this maybe to be used, and then also some little combos as well there, guys. So well done, Nathan. Thank you very much. Then let's talk about these battalions that we've been kind of referring to. So we've got 3 new battalions on offer. So Bounty Hunters is gone, Expert Conqueror's gone. We're just looking at these 3 new ones now, as well as the core battalions you've got in the core rules as well. So we have Galician Command, we have Galician Sharpshooters, and we have Galician Veterans. So let's start with Galician Command. So we need 1 GC, and we need 1 infantry unit. They have to have a unit with 4 wounds or less, and it cannot be leader, artillery, or behemoth, and does not have any mounts as well. So we're talking foot troops here, guys. And then they then get the ability United in Purpose, which is the infantry unit in this battalion is the Sworn Bodyguard. So that's where that kind of key, not really a keyword, but that term kind of comes in there, of the Galician Champion in this battalion. And in the combat phase, when you pick the Gali Champ to attack, then they immediately trigger an attack as well. They have to be wholly within 6, and they can fight kind of one after the other, as long as they've both not fought. Yeah, am I right in saying that? They both can't have already fought. So that's that battalion. And we've already kind of discussed maybe some of the merits of that, some of the downsides as well. It's going to increase your
combo I can think of.
Yeah, and that's pretty much it. It's gonna make your drops more, and I mean, I don't know. I think it's kind of cool. It's kind of fluffy. It's kind of part of the whole thing of this GHB is to make the little heroes kind of quite iconic and the kind of centerpieces. And then you've got the sworn bodyguard guys. They're the kind of the elite squad of that hero. And then
Yeah.
but it's okay.
I've been thinking about lists where I've been making a shooting unit the Swarm Bodyguard. Like, so just
Okay.
not like, ignoring the impact of the battalion altogether, but
Hmm.
just for the purposes of that battle tactic.
Got you.
Because like Stormcast don't have a deep book of battle tactics unless they take a dragon as their general. For this
Hmm.
one's mine,
Hmm.
because their foot heroes generally don't do much damage. And then it's the dragons that have access to the kill unit battle
Of
tactics in the book.
course.
So
Yeah.
this might be one way to get one of the GHB battle tactics, doing things like that.
Yeah.
A shooting unit in it and shoot the GCs.
No, I like it, man. Yeah, that's a good shout. Yeah. Right. Next one, we've got Galician sharpshooters. So we're in the season of can't shoot the heroes. Well, here's a battalion to get you over that hump. Then, so we can put 3 units into this battalion, and yeah, so missile weapons, or attacks with missile weapons by units in this battalion are not prevented from targeting enemy GCs that are within 1 inch of enemy battle line units. So it seems to be pretty straightforward here, kind of like, so it's going to be an issue to remove some of these little heroes. Well, just take this battalion, and it means that you can just remove them. But it takes a lot of these maybe kind of shooting based lists that were loved to be 1 drop, or even maybe 1 or 2 drops.
Yeah.
You now have to be a minimum of 3. Well, yeah, well, they have to be. They're going to have to be a minimum of more than that, because this is a 3 drop battalion.
Yep.
So what's your thoughts on this?
Yeah, probably a good stop point for us to talk about like issues
Hmm.
that are arising from the rules that we've just covered. So, like you said, you need to put different. They don't need to all be shooting units. You could put one
Hmm.
shooting unit and then just 2 infantry units in this battalion,
Yeah.
and then the unit that can shoot gets the benefit, and then they're able to shoot the heroes. But if you do that, you go to 4 drops, and historically 1 drops have been better to like set the tempo for shooting lists so that they can get the opportunity for the double, or they can go first and do critical damage.
Hmm.
Um, what this gets around is shooting heroes that are bunched up close to units. What does that better is just AoE mortal wounds. So we'll probably
Okay.
touch on that later as what we're thinking about
Yeah.
things that are going to come up in the meta, but it gets around it. So like big winners for this, I think, will probably be Stormcast. I think they can get away with it. Science of
Hmm.
the Storm, that mission that doesn't allow reserves is gone now. So stick your long strikes into a sharpshooter battalion, stick them up in the sky, stick your heroes up in the sky. If your opponent makes you go first, drop down your long strike, shoot off their heroes. If they go first, your heroes are safe, your shooting's safe, you maybe get a double turn. I think that will be quite powerful. It's maybe one of the few powerful examples of it, because
Hmm.
you're gonna be at the mercy of what your opponent decides to do.
Of
And with
course. Yeah.
the big bad techless looming with AoE mortal wounds or slams or
Yeah.
um, yeah,
It's funny you mentioned.
Nurgle
Yeah.
Rotbringer list as well.
Oh
Just
God. Yeah.
stacking disease on your heroes and stuff. So
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
No, it's funny because you mentioned Stormcast in the one kind of sentence of they can do well with this
is there
battalion.
pictures?
Yeah,
Is there pictures?
yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's the Judes in it.
Yeah.
They can do well in this battalion, but they can also just get around it with AOE mortal wounds as well. We
Yep.
have seen the mortal wound bomb lists doing very well. I mean, I know I just faced one at the weekend there from Mr. Stu West. That was a lot of mortal wounds that he just put out, and it's AOE. Nothing could really save me from it at all. We've had JJ as well. He's been kind of doing really
Yep.
well with. He loves his Vexillers and stuff like that
Mhm.
to just drop an automatic D3 mortal wounds in that radius there. So yeah, if you've got that ability to do that, you don't really need this battalion, but you could also benefit from it. Yeah, if you can keep your stuff safe and
That's
if it doesn't impact your drops. Yeah.
Well, that probably what I was speaking about with the long strikes probably preys on the 1 drop AoE mortal wounds lists,
Yeah.
because like what are you gonna mortal wound? Like
Yeah,
everything's like
exactly.
spread out in the
Yeah.
sky. So
Exactly,
yeah,
exactly. No, I like it. Cool. So a nice wee counter plays there, and then we go on to the last battalion. I think the one I'm most interested in, which is
of
Galician
course.
Veterans, of course. And this is we've got bonds of battle here. So basically, it takes them back to being galley vets from last season. They can attack in two ranks, if you will, within
Yeah,
half an inch of half an inch. So you've got the if you were used to running maybe 20 to 30 packs of models that had 32mm bases that couldn't fight over the top of one another, you might then want to see about dropping them into this battalion here. I'm definitely eyeing this up for my Blade Geists for Nighthaunt, and I think
okay.
there's lots of other units that you could do well with this as well. Again, it does impact your drops, but as I say, like for me, I was used to being super high drops at Nighthaunt anyway, just didn't really care. So yeah, no, I think it's a nice battalion, so
I love this
you can
one.
still chuck your toys about. Yeah.
Like this one excites me the most because I've been experimenting with stuff. I didn't come up with this, but um, I didn't notice that it's not only battle line units that can go in this,
Hmm.
whereas the previous season we've just had the beneficiaries of this rule were battle line or battle
Yes.
line if units only. Okay,
Correct.
so
Yeah.
there might be other units out there that weren't able to benefit from it before but can now
Hmm.
benefit from it.
Yeah.
The one that I've been messing about with was so Darren Watson was messed about with a Mortal Corn list with a unit 10 Skull Reapers.
Hmm.
Now, the sheer volume of attacks that they can chuck out, doing mortal wounds on sixes, getting rerolls to hit, a unit 10 of them is like 70 attacks with rerolls, and you can have them rerolling all hits, rerolling all wounds, mortal wounds on sixes to hit. They were going through units of pink horrors like they were a hot knife through butter.
Good lord.
So I wonder if there's maybe other units out there that weren't battle line if
Yeah,
and never
absolutely.
got to use it. We
Yep.
might start to see things like that crop up,
Yeah, yeah.
especially with new books that have not come out yet as well. Like we'll need to wait and see.
Yep, you can get some pretty like there's some kind of elite units which are maybe like your three model units with on 40mm or 50mm bases that can benefit from this now, even if they weren't if they weren't battle line or if they're not battle line. So yeah, I think there's lots of different combos here you can use for this. It's quite nice in that it's just a minimum of two. So now you could just take it to
Yeah.
a 3-drop. You could go battle reg and this. Obviously you could stick more in if you want. But yeah, really like this battalion. And I think yeah, I'll be looking forward to some combinations. That the Skull Reapers thing that sounds absolutely terrifying, Nathan.
It's
I'm
mental.
just
I've
never.
got a screenshot I'll send to you later that shows you the amount of damage that they can do. But
Good
yeah,
lord,
it's
no, no thanks. Don't want any part of that. So let's move on. Artifacts of power. So we've got some new artifacts. Now the important thing to note here is these are galley champs only. So none of your big boys can
Yep.
have these. They're all for the GCs. So let's talk about them. So we've got Tusk Helm. So basically, you give them Ogre Charge. You give
Yep.
it. You roll the dice, unmodified roll every 4 up.
Very cool.
You do Immortal. That's really cool. Like you've actually now
I
got
like that.
these little, maybe like 5-6 wound heroes that have now got the ability to pop out quite a substantial amount of mortal wounds, maybe to finish units off, or to maybe even just go and nuke another galley champ, maybe that it was next to as well. Like
Yep.
this, I really like this. This is pretty cool, and it's definitely something I'm looking at for some of my lists,
Yep.
just to be able to do that. I know how impactful, even just having, when I was running KO, having an ironclad with this rule, that was hugely
Yeah.
impactful. You roll a big enough charge and you just take a unit
What
out. Like, it
happens
was
with
really
that?
cool.
What happens if you've got a galley champ and an ironclad with that rule?
Oh, yeah,
And the
true.
ironclad charges with him in it. I wonder
That's
if
true.
that maybe needs
Ooh.
an FAQ, right?
That will
Because he
definitely
counts
need an
as charging.
FAQ. That will
That's pretty fun. In fact, well, it
100%
does
need an
say
FAQ.
if the bearer already has an ability, so the bearer doesn't. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's gonna need checked. I know that they had to FAQ the whole charging a boat in with people inside because that technically was switching off Unleash Hell as well.
Yeah, because they were
So
already within
yeah, so
three. Yeah,
they're gonna have to change that as well. Yeah, interesting. So cool. But yeah, I really like that Tusk Helm. Then we've got Night Flyer Cloak. So during deployment, instead of setting up the bear on the battlefield, you can place them one side as if they're reserve, and you bring them down on the battlefield. But they have to be within 1 inch of a friendly battle line and more than 9 inches from all enemy units. What's your thoughts on this one?
I like this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like I've just been playing Grin and Blades for a bit, and I'm thinking like, well, in teams I might not get the arcane tome that I normally just take, the wee token arcane tome that
Yeah.
every list has, and like I can make it so that my battle line don't all get shut off, and it's a way to protect one of my galley champs from the AoE mortal wounds that are going to prey on us all. So
Yeah, yeah.
it could be like it could be quite useful in that instance, or if you've got battle line that can deploy off the table, come on later, so you can like protect your sort of battle line stuff, or teleport in battle line. You can
Yeah.
teleport your battle line, and then you can bring your galley champ down somewhere else.
Mm-hmm. No,
Cool
absolutely,
stuff
yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
Stormcast, Relict, or a unit of Liberators, bring a champion down next to the Liberators or something.
True. I mean, I don't know if so much if they would they really care about that if they've got science. But I suppose if they're going Stormkeep, then this could help them out there.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, obviously,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, cool. And then we've got a kind of an old favourite back, Griff Feather
Yeah.
Charm. We've got Old Amulet of Destiny back, where it has a ward of 5 up. Now it's quite good, this one. So because it's only GCs, you're not going to get a massive, huge benefit of this. Obviously, 5 up wards on Gargants was insane because you're just adding a third wounds onto something that had 35 wounds. But these guys are going to have nine wounds or less. So, you know, a ward of 5 up. But it's still pretty cool. It's still pretty cool. I might want to keep it on a guy to make it more survivable. But yeah, so those are the new relics you have access to. And now for the really fun bit, we've got the unique enhancements. There's some in here that I really quite like. So, aspects of the champion. So this is brand new for the season. It's you always get one aspect. And again, you can purchase more just through additional enhancements. But you get to pick one of these to put on one of your Galician champions. So let's talk about them. So there's how many we've got? 4 to talk about? Yeah. So we've got Tunnel Master. Once per battle, instead of picking the Galician champion to make a normal move it from the battlefield, set it up again on the battlefield at more than 9 inches from all enemy units. So you basically just teleport them away to anywhere on the battlefield. I quite like that. That's pretty cool. And I think it's especially going to be quite important potentially with some of the battle tactics that we're about to discuss as well. But yeah, just being able to do that, you can put your galley champ anywhere you need. And it is once per battle, so you can't do it again. But I think still pretty cool for this one. Thoughts on that one?
Yeah, no, exactly what you said. Opens or makes the battle tactics much more achievable for what is likely to be an average 5 move hero. So
yeah, no, absolutely. Then we've got one which I think this is probably maybe your favourite here, Nathan. We've been having a chat about this. Fueled by Ghoulish Rage. So once per battle, before you allocate a wound or a mortal wound to this galley champ, and that wound or mortal wound would cause it to be slain, you roll a dice. On a 3 up, that wound or mortal wound is negated. You can heal up to D3 wounds allocated to it, and any wounds that are currently meant to be allocated to it are negated. So if somebody has managed to get in some damage that would kill your galley champ, you just roll a dice on a 3 up, he's not dead, all the damage just gets totally wasted, and the guy is still there. Love it.
Yeah, like I've been thinking, like sticking this on a Wargog Prophet, and then when the Wargog Prophet dies, on a 3 up, it gets an extra D3 wins to keep staring. But like we just talked about the 5 up ward one as well, so you can now have one with glowing tattoos and a 4 up ward, and fueled by Ghoulish Rage, and then you can have another one on a 5 up ward.
Oh my god, man, that's just going to be so tilting. Oh, Jesus. Oh, Jesus. You finally get into the wee buggers, they just don't die. But yeah, no, really cool. And yeah, just I think this is going to be maybe just like a nice clutch play. And yeah, just keeping your galley champs alive, man, is pretty good.
Tactics.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, imagine they picked it.
That's what I like.
Imagine someone's picked it. I'll take that wee squishy heroes. Aye, will we? Aye. 2/3 chance you don't. Love it. So that's cool. Then we've got Stubborn as a Rhinox. The galley champ counts as 10 models for the purpose of contesting objectives while there are no enemy galley champions contesting the same objective. I also really like this one as well.
They're all good.
Yeah,
this one's good.
Definitely, and I think this is going to be great on your really high manoeuvrable galley champs, your teleporting galley champs as well, where you can just nick objectives off of people because the count is 10. As long as there's no other galley champs contesting that objective, enemy ones, then you could just get it. So yeah, really like this. Very cool. It's like I would love to take all of them. Just want to take all of them in a list.
You can. That's impossible.
Good. Yeah, it's impossible.
No, I say it through.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, cool. And then the last one's leadership of the Alpha. This guy's got some Alpha energy. Once per battle, the Galley Champ can issue one of the following commands up to 3 times in the same phase. So we've got Rally, All Out Attack, All Out Defense, or Redeploy. If it does so, no command point is spent the second and third times this Galley Champion issues that command in that phase. So you basically just turn your Galley Champ into a Mega Boss on Maw Crusher. Is that pretty much what we're saying?
Pretty cool, yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, like I've been playing long strikes for a while, and you're always trying to find those points to sneak in the Aether Wings to give multiple units the +1 to hit.
Yep.
You can shave a couple of points, stick this on it, +1 to hit a couple of units in the shooting phase. Or the triple redeploy is pretty good too. Yeah, it's nice.
No, very nice. Love it. Cool. And that's it. That's all the aspects. That's all the relics. Not relics, sorry. Artifacts of power. Enhancements. So yeah. And now we're going to chat a bit about the grand strats and the battle tactics. So this is one we were saying about a couple of different ones have been kept on from the last GHB, and then other ones have been removed. So really it's going to be kind of up to you and probably your battle tome as to which ones you pick here. So we'll go through them all, and we'll just kind of maybe give them like a thumbs up, thumbs down, kind of what do we think about it. So we've got Tame the Land. With the battle ends, you complete the grand strategy if you control all of the objectives in the battlefield that are wholly outside of your territory. I'm not a fan of this. Not a fan. I'm going to go thumbs down for this.
Looking at the missions, it doesn't look like the easiest.
Yeah, there's also a mission that this could just be completely impossible on as well.
Exactly.
Because because the objectives get removed, which I played on TTS the other night there, and that was horrendous. I really didn't like that mission.
The one where they disappear on the roll of a 4-up.
No, it wasn't.
That one yet?
Oh my god, I've not played that one. That'll be tilting. No, there was the one where the person going second chooses which one gets it was the Jaws of Calais. Hated it. Absolutely hated it. So Tame the Land, I'm not a huge fan. I just feel like this is a lot to try and do, and you're taking this over a 5-game weekend. I could see you maybe getting this once or twice. Possibly. Depends. So I do not like that one. Defend what's ours. When the battle ends, you complete this grand strategy if there are no enemy units wholly within your territory. Don't like that one.
Very, very achievable for the sort of castle armies, but it is just a win more. If you go last, if you go second, if you go first in the last turn, you can just be denied if your opponent's canny.
Yeah. There's exactly, and I think this is one of the ones I always looking at is think, could my opponent just completely negate this last turn? And there's so many instances where they just could, and I
don't know why it's not just a mirror of take what's theirs.
Why isn't that actually? It's kind of strange.
Maybe it's easy. I don't know.
Possibly. I don't know. But yeah, so that's that one. Not a fan. Then we go to take what's theirs, and I think this, as I say, this is the one I think that's going to be potentially the go-to. So in the battle ends, you complete the grand strategy if there's more friendly than enemy units wholly within enemy territory. So this is one that people were already taking. And
it's because of the type of armies that are being played.
Yeah, exactly. And it was achievable, and I think that it can be achievable again. So that's my thoughts on that. We've then got Stake a Claim. So when the battle ends, you complete this grand strategy if 3 or more Galley Champs are wholly within enemy territory. I am not a fan. I'm not a fan of this.
I've got a list that does this.
I bet you do.
This one doesn't say starting army. So.
Right, okay. So I don't like this, but certain people might love this, especially if you can summon Galley Champions onto the battlefield. Oh my goodness. Yeah.
So they're getting a new book in the future, we suspect, but Khorne can summon a Galley Champ for 2 Blood Tides, and it's quite easy to find yourself with a few of those.
100%.
And the lists I've been playing with have like 5 Galley Champs in it, so
yeah,
definitely achievable for some armies. Seraphon, stuff like that come to mind.
That as well. All of your chaos. So Slaanesh, Nurgle, Tzeentch, can easily summon galley champs as well. So yeah, this could be an issue if those guys are running it. And
I'll
I
need to
think
get them into enemy
yeah,
territory, but
you do, yeah.
and if you
But
were doing that, then why wouldn't you just do take what's theirs? So.
there's that as well. Yeah,
Yeah.
because it's 3 as well. See if it was like
Yeah.
1.
Yeah.
Like I would say like yep, I quite like this one, but because it's 3, I'm not feeling great. We've then got Survivor's Instinct. So when the battle ends, you complete this grand strat if the model picked to be your general is a galley champ, and that model is contesting an objective wholly outside your territory. Now, I don't think I like this one. I've not been liking a lot of these, but it's just because there's quite a lot of gates, a lot of hoops to jump through here, because it has to be a galley champ, has to be the one that is picked to be your general, and it has to be an objective wholly outside your territory as well. And if your opponent knows this, then they could spend resources here to kill this guy basically, to just deny you that 3 points at the end of the game. So I don't know. What's your thoughts on that one?
I've not been playing any armies that are that desperate for grand strats that they would be trying to do this on the missions for the objective. And it's just there's too many barriers. I think this is the biggest issue in this battle pack personally, just the grand strats. There's a couple of just automatic score ones in the new battle tomes, and I think it's gonna cause a rift.
Yeah, no, definitely. And that's before we've even talked about the one that I hate the most, which is the day is ours. And that's when the battle ends, you complete this grand strat if there are more friendly galley champs from your starting army than galley champs from your opponent's starting army on the battlefield. Because that is list dependent.
For a sharpshooter army.
Yeah, I suppose so, yeah. But it's list dependent, and yeah, just don't like it. Don't like it. That can just be like, no, can't do it, because I have 3 galley champs and my opponent has 6, and it's going to be pretty impossible. So yeah, so that's all the grand strats. As I say, I quite like to take what's theirs. Stake a claim. That's a very cheeky one, very cheeky one for all you summoners out there. That could be one that you might be able to do. But as we've already said as well, why wouldn't you just do take what's theirs anyway? Because if you can put 3 enemy units in your opponent's deployment zone, wholly within, then yeah, I think you'll be fine.
I think if you've got no other ones to choose, you probably just take a chance on take what's theirs, right?
Yeah, 100%.
Just in the hope that you've won the game and you can just sneak your units into their territory. That'd be the only thing I can think of.
Yep. Cool. So then we also, there's just a slight clarification here about starting armies. I guess this had to be clarified, just to say that something that is your starting army is something that was player starting armies made of the units in the army that were set up before the first battle round, including any reserve units. Units that are added to a player's army after the battle's begun are not included. So I felt that was pretty self-explanatory, but I guess just to clarify that for summoning and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think it's for the people that start things off the table, right? They'll be like, well, it's not on the battlefield at the start of the battle, is it? Part of your starting army. Yeah.
True. No, I like that. Yeah, absolutely. Cool. And then we get on to battle tactics. So there are 4 old ones, 4 new ones. So let's go for it. So the ones that we all know and love: Gain of Momentum, Eye for an Eye, Desecrate, and this one's mine. 3 of those involve killing. 1 of those doesn't. And yeah, so it used to be, so Against the Odds is gone. That was kind of very much like a go-to, kind of like first turn everyone's doing Against the Odds potentially. We also have Lost Barge, which is something that for some armies as well was just I just do that, cool, and that's fine. And also get the bonus point for doing it with 2 galley vets as well. Something that I was enjoying doing, and I think there's a lot of people who are enjoying doing it as well. So the fact that they are now gone, and those were basically battle tactics that did not require any interaction with your opponent whatsoever, and now we're going into more interactive battle tactics. It does just make them inherently more difficult, right? The fact that we're having to depend on killing that thing, because if you got those 3 auto ones kind of out the road and were kind of up quite highly on your hold 1, 2 more perhaps, then you'd be like, right, well, I'm going to take a punt on this going to take a punt on that, I can kill this thing. You know, and I'll maybe try and set up so you can't redeploy away from a charge unit, or I can't do this and do this, or there's that wee unit that's over there that's on one wound left. I'll just plink that off, and then we'll kind of go for it. So yeah, it's going to make it very going to make those moments in the battle a lot more kind of pivotal to your score, which is very interesting. We're then going to talk, and I know for me, for my turn one, I'm always going to be pre-measured and desecrate, like where.
So your opponent.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but it's just like, are they just going to be able to say, nope, you can't, because I'm set up in such a way that all of the scenery that's touching into my deployment zone is covered, so you're not getting it, kind of a thing. Or is there those little ones, you know? So it'll depend. But yeah, if you can try and grab that turn one, that's what I'm going to be looking towards, because then all the other ones are involving killing stuff. And if you're not a turn one, if you're not an alpha army that doesn't have any shooting and you can't get to them in turn one, then you're kind of a wee bit screwed, aren't you?
There's only one that jumps out for turn one other than desecrate, and it's one of the new ones, like the last one.
We'll talk about that just now then, yeah? So this is cunning manoeuvre. So you pick one friendly galley champ in the battlefield that's more than 3 inches from all enemy units. You complete this battle tactic if at the end of that turn that galley champ is more than 3 inches away from all enemy units and is contesting the objective you control that's wholly outside your territory. So it's basically like Against the Odds, but for a galley champ, and now with the kind of hoop that the objective has to be wholly outside your territory now as well. So yeah, I can definitely see that. If you're going to have galley champs in your army, then you're going to want to make sure that you've got one that can reach to an objective that's wholly outside your territory turn one, in order to get you this battle tactic. Definitely.
Exactly. So you're going to have to, like, I think the name of the game, if you don't have reliable book battle tactics, I'm just skimming through the missions now, looking at the territories. It's going to be more often than not that is one of the battle tactics that you're going to be looking at, and there's a couple of missions you can't even score it on. It's pretty bad. I feel for the books that don't have good book battle tactics, because if you're not a battle regiment and you can't make your opponent go first, you're not really going to be in a position to do many battle tactics. Or if you can't take first in order to do one of these battle tactics, you're going to be screwed. But inherently, I think if you can do cunning maneuver, you're going to want to do cunning maneuver early, just because if you find yourself with it late game, you can't pick it if your galley champ's more than 3. Or it's within 3 of an enemy and stuff, you can't retreat.
Yeah, exactly. The other thing is also the galley champ has to be in the battlefield as well, so you can't do this with things that are starting off the board. So your Signs of Storm for Stormcast, Tunnel Master, all that kind of stuff. Like you have to be physically on the board.
You can do Tunnel Master. Tunnel Master is the once per game.
Yeah, because that's when you rather than move, you can shift. Yeah. But if you're up in the sky, Stormcast. If you're in the Underworld as Night Haunt. If you're all this kind of off the board reserves type stuff, then you cannot do this. So I think people are going to be looking to heroes that can zip about the board and just grab this stuff easy peasy and things like that. So that's definitely one to look at. We'll go through the 3 other new ones as well. So we've got a Matter of Honor. This is one that is super, I think, just so kind of like technicality wise, very finicky. You have to pick an enemy galley champion or sworn bodyguard unit on the battlefield. You complete this tactic if that unit is destroyed during this turn by an attack made by a friendly galley champ or sworn bodyguard unit. So you have to have the battalion, and the other person has to have the battalion as well, right?
Yep. Well,
oh no, actually no. It could just do on a galley champ. Yeah, exactly. But
or your galley champ could do it to galley champ. This is what I was talking about before, where I was like, well, there's not a lot of there is a couple, but there's not a lot of galley champs that are going to be out there.
Yeah.
Nuking people, but like I play a lot of Stormcast, so I'm thinking, well, Night Judicator is going to be one that's going to be able to stay quite far away. Can maybe take a couple of plink shots at a weakened champion after the screens disappear a wee bit. Maybe you could sneak this battle tactic, but it's like it's so random. Like
Yeah.
you're scraping the bottom of the barrel if you're picking this, I think.
Yeah.
Um,
Exactly. No, absolutely. You've then got lead the assault. So you complete this battle tactic if at least two of the objectives you control are in enemy territory and are each contested by any friendly galley champs as well.
yeah.
So you have to hold two, and
Yep.
they have to each have a galley champ on them. Yeah.
Yep.
So obviously this means that you're going to have at least two galley champs in your list.
Yep.
And they're going to have to be in a position to grab two objectives that are wholly, was it?
Yeah, I'm just skimming through the missions.
They have to be in enemy, but not wholly in enemy territory.
Not
It's
wholly,
just in.
they can border.
Yeah. Okay.
So you can't do it on Prize of Galay.
Mm-hmm.
You can't do it on Realmstone Cache.
Ideal.
You can do it on Battle Lines Drawn, I guess, because all four of them are technically like in the middle of the board and
Yeah.
stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Take it, you can do it on that one. You can't do it on Lurkers.
The fact that if Lurkers is getting played at tournaments, then there should be riots. There should be riots in the street anyway.
Can't do it in Presence of Idols. You can do it in Nidus Paths. You can do it on the Only the Worthy. So that's 3 so far. Still only 3.
Oof.
4. Sorry, I know this is riveting.
It's alright.
Yeah, I think you can only do it in 4 missions. Yeah, 4 of the 12 missions you can do this battle tactic.
Wow. So
Yeah. Fun times.
not a huge fan of this. Yeah. So
Very
yeah, battle tactics are definitely getting more difficult. But then yeah, let's finish on one that I quite liked. I quite liked this one. I actually managed to do this during a game on TTS, and it was United Offence. So you pick one objective controlled by your opponent. You complete this battle tactic if you control that objective, and 2 or more friendly galley champs are contesting that objective at the end of this turn. So it's just take the objective off your opponent, have 2 of your galley champs on it.
Yeah,
Which I think that's a doable one. I can see lots of instances where that can happen. Especially just make sure that you're taking that objective off your opponent, which you're going to be playing for anyway. You still want to get hold 1, hold 2, hold more, and just make sure 2 of your GCs are on it, and you're good to go. So no, I like that one. So yeah, for me, I think the ones that are going to be probably the go-tos in here is we've got United Defence, Cunning Manoeuvre, Gaining Momentum, Eye for an Eye, Desecrate, and this one's mine. If you've got the ability to do that, if your general is a fighty general, or he's, there's a corner case maybe where there's a wound left in a unit and your wee galley champ general could nab it. But I think there's 5 there that's maybe going to be your basis, which are the kind of the first 3 and the last 2 on the list. Yeah.
Yeah. Like immediately I'm thinking I need an army that can be proactive turn 1.
Mm-hmm.
If my opponent gives me turn 1, I need to be able to kill something.
Yeah.
Because if I can't kill something, there's a lot of these battle tactics that I'm going to get screened out of, or I'm not going to get the opportunity to do because the mission doesn't allow it. So
yeah,
you're gonna be looking at shooting a reliable deep strike charging and stuff.
Yeah.
If you're just like a kind of honest combat army, like I play a lot of Khorne, and there's not really much you can do. Like if somebody makes you go first and you're on a mission where you can't do a cunning maneuver,
yeah,
what do you pick?
or you can't do Desecrate. Yeah, that's
yeah,
it.
Exactly.
It's not a great hole to be in. Definitely, just knowing that you're going to start 2 points down. Against your enemy, and you might be getting potentially doubled into as well.
Exactly.
So if you are lucky enough to have a tome that is rich with lovely battle tactics, looking at you, Doc, then I think that you'll be fine. But yeah, there's maybe some other armies that are going to struggle, and they're going to have to tailor their list to make sure that they can 100% get one of these battle tactics turn 1 and 2, before we start to get into the kind of thick of the battle. Definitely. Cool. So that's battle tactics done. We're now just going to have a quick kind of skim over some of the missions. We've already kind of had a wee chat. Well, you were just kind of skimming through them there, weren't you, Nathan? Just to kind of look at
just had a
kind of for the battle tactics. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, we'll have a kind of a quick skim through there. Before we do, we'll just have a wee look at the chat. So Scott was just saying that he's the first time that he's ever heard the Gaze of Gur realm spell was at the weekend there. He had Dan cast that against him. Well done, Dan. Clutch pick. Ross is also telling you to be shushed about the Lore Seeker secrets. Nobody talks about that. It's like Fight Club. He's also said that you can stack the Fueled by Ghoulish Rage and the Phoenix Stones. You have 2 3-up revives. Oh my god. Which Sinky has thumbed up. We've then got Thomas saying, I'd love to just throw my little battle mage with Ghoulish Rage into a Gargant. Hope you roll that 3-up when he dies and just pin them. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's cool. And then we've got Ross saying, going second and getting the double seems like the win-win for that tactic. Throw your little GC turn 1, then run him home safe turn 2. So I think that was talking about cunning maneuver potentially. That one. So yeah, there's options there. Cool. So battle plans. So 6 have been kept, which and handily they've all been kept on table 1. So we've got Prize of Galay, and am I right in saying nothing has changed?
Battle lines drawn's changed in the sense that you can teleport on it now.
No, I'm talking about Prize of Galay, Nathan.
Why are we doing all the...
I'm just checking. I'm just checking that nothing's changed. Right, cool. So Prize of Galay is the fight. I really like that mission as well. I think it's a great mission. So that's not changed.
If you've got a battle regiment.
If you have a battle reg and you can make the person go first, then it's fantastic. We've got Realmstone Cache. Nothing's changed there. A kind of a very skewy mission that can have some feels bads depending on where the objective splits. And if the enemy army has a Gotrek in it, then it's kind of a feels bad. We've then got battle lines drawn, which yes has changed, and for the better, I think we now can teleport. Woo! So we can pick models up off the battle field and we can move them around.
No longer need to pour one out for our Sylvaneth.
Oh god, Sylvaneth buddy, exactly. So yeah, what about Night Hunt buddies? Why do you never pour one out for us?
Because you never take the boatman anyway, so.
I also very rarely put stuff in reserves as well. So,
I do. It was reserves.
Yeah, because it's any ability. Because I have to set it exactly. I have to set them up first. Yeah. Stupid. Anyway, but yeah, so I think that's a really good. It's a good move for this mission, definitely. And yeah, you still got the big table quarters as your objectives. So cool. Then we still have
what's that? That one.
Mm-hmm.
The realm spell on that mission.
Exactly. Yeah, so that could be some big old booms there, guys. Oh my god.
If you cast that on your opponent's objective turn 1.
Oh my god, that's going to be horrendous.
You need to make sure that you're not... Well, I suppose it's everything, isn't it? It's the whole table.
Everything, man. It's everything. Yeah. Absolutely everything. So if you can get a caster within 12 inches of his table, which is super easy.
It's hit all your stuff within your table quarter, within 6 inches of the middle as well.
Of course.
You deploy outside of that, so...
So if you've taken turn 1 and just move everything away, right, and then just go bang.
So I don't know if maybe what they'll do is they might errata that to be that the objective is the middle of the quarter.
Yeah, that could be a good move for that. Yeah,
there is a crossover point. I think they're going to have to do that, right? Like,
yeah, because you're going to have to measure from the edge of that square of that rectangle, that quarter,
all the other ones,
into all the other ones, and then from the diagonal from the centre as well.
The other people's tables next to you as well.
Of course, yeah. So yes, very interesting. Please get us a fact for that, guys. Unfortunately, we have also kept this just horrendous battle plan.
We played it. I played it in the Glasgow League once.
Did you play it? I've never played this mission. Never ever played this mission.
It wasn't in the league. It was at the club, and we rolled the mission, and we got this right after right after the GHP came out.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just an instant win on turn 3 with the big stabbers, like by accident. Like it wasn't even planned for. We were just like, I think the game is over.
Just went, oops, I win. Yeah. Ideal. But yeah, I don't like this has been kept. I think there was way better missions we could have kept, so why the heck are we doing this auto-win nonsense? Presence of Idols has not changed at all. In fact, we played it last night on stream, me and Stu. So yeah, nothing to change there. We still have our idle units. We're still in the quarters. There's still 3 objectives, and then we have Nidus Paths, which also hasn't changed at all either. And I quite like Nidus Paths. I've never had a bad game on Nidus Paths. So yeah, we're all good.
Took me 4 months to realise that the teleport was at the end of a move. I could have abused that so much earlier
My
on
God,
when people weren't really doing it.
jeez, oh man, yeah, you could be grabbing the other person's objective in that same turn.
Yeah.
No, yeah, so that's us. So, then we go into the new ones. So we've got 6 new ones to talk about, so let's do it. So we have the first one, it's called Only the Worthy. So this has got, so we'll talk about the territories first of all. The territories are the full table halves. Okay, so this is the one we were saying because this is kind of quite pivotal for that battle tactic we were just talking
There's
about.
only one holy in your opponent's territory.
Yes.
Even a rat at that battle tactic, it's that bad.
Yeah,
Like four
no,
out
absolutely.
of the 12 missions.
What was it even called again? I immediately discarded it from my brain.
Yeah.
Let's just check.
I think that they should. I think they should errata it. I don't think
Yeah.
it's bad for it to be an easy battle tactic because I think that it's going to feel awful if you're not in control of going first and you don't have the ability. Like your army design, like from the battle tone, doesn't allow you to score anything. It's not
So
a
that.
problem for us, but yeah.
Sorry, hold on. So that was lead the assault. Complete the span. Oh wait, hold on. Base battle type. At least 2 of the objectives you control are in enemy territory and each contested by anything. So it doesn't. It's not wholly within.
What was the one that we were looking at then?
Was that one?
Was it not a matter of honor? Pick one enemy.
No, that's the Killy one. Lead the assault. You have to have 2 objectives
are in enemy
territory and are each contested.
That's not wholly within.
That's not holy. The cunning maneuver is holy. So is that the one we can't do?
No. Cunning maneuver is wholly outside.
Oh. So it's going to be even more difficult.
No, there's quite a lot of the missions have at least one objective that's wholly outside.
Right, got you. Okay. But then I
must have read that wrong. That lead the assault then complete battle tactic.
No worries. So it's actually so what do we think about
enemy territory? It's not many more because there is only 2 missions that have the whole table halves, right?
Right. Yeah. But it's slightly better than what we were thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean this one here. So I'm thinking for the. The one we're talking about, where you just make sure that your galley champ is contested in the objective, and it's wholly outside your territory. This one's going to be super difficult. Now it's only your opponent's home objective, so you're not getting this turn 1. No, absolutely not.
But you could get the other one.
You could, yeah.
The other ones because
yeah,
the one that we're talking about. I'm saying it's not possible in Prize of Galley, Realmstone Cache, the battle lines drawn is. It's not possible in Lurkers. It's only possible in one of the original 6. The other one. But it's possible in this new one.
Oh, I see. Right, okay, because it has to be within enemy territory.
In fact, it's possible in 2 of the original 6. It's possible in Nidus and it's possible in Battle Lines Drawn.
Yes.
It's not possible in any of the other ones, the one with the 2 within your opponent's territory.
Yep, cool. Cool. So that's that one. So let's look at the kind of special rules for the mission.
Yep.
So we've got Shrines of Conquest. So we've got whether any Galician champions within 6 inches of an objective. Only Galician champions can contest the objective. In addition, no more than 1 Galley champ from the same army can contest the same objective at the same time. So this kind of harks back to places of power that we used to love so much. Get a hero within range,
doesn't work with Marathi.
and that's it. Jeez, that's true. Yeah. So this one's very interesting. You're only going to be able to contest with the Galley champs.
I can't remember if I heard somebody was saying that an errata is maybe needed for how this works with things like ogres and stuff.
Well, also, Nathan, what I'm thinking about is if you just kill your opponent's Galley champs, then is that just GG's?
No, it says you count Galley champs first. So if nobody has Galley champs on the objective, then
So it's while there are any Galley champs within 6, then only Galley champs can contest. Gotcha.
So you can have a bit of an arms race where I've got 1 Galley champ hero, people have put 2 on it, so I take it back and stuff. But
okay, so I'll take it back then. So say you're in a position where you yourself have Galley champs, and you can set them up so that they're in a position where they have screens in front of them and they're on the objectives, and you can kill your opponent's Galley champs. Is it then GG's?
No. But
no?
all 4 objectives?
Not all 4, but certainly 3.
Yeah, no, you could do it with 3. Yeah, if you're in a position where you can't like slap back and kill your opponent's relation champs, then yeah, it's gonna be pretty rough.
I'm just thinking about that sharpshooter. So you were saying like, yeah, take some sharpshooters and just remove the galley champs, and
Yeah,
then you'll have a whale of a time here, I think. So yeah, and that's it. And then after that, it's just hold 1, 2 more on your battle tactic. But then you've got
standard fare.
that kicker. Yes, pretty standard. No other bonus points or anything like that. So that's only the worthy. We then have Path of a Champion. So this one's a 4 objective mission. We've got
This is the one I've played.
quarter deploy. What's that? Sorry.
This is the one that I played first.
Oh, you play.
So
Oh, is it?
Phil
Oh,
right
alright,
after
okay.
you played Dandy. So this
Okay.
is you can pick 2 battle tactics if you have a Galatian
Oh.
champion that's controlling one. So you can't do it turn 1 unless you have some form of pre-game setup that happens before you check for control of objectives. But
Yeah.
yeah, this one's really big.
Yeah.
You're going to need to think about your combos. So like you're gaining momentum an eye for an eye, or gaining momentum with any of the kill ones, just to kind of combo up for the double one, because you score 2 points for each battle tactic that you complete the turn, so you can get a maximum of 4 points for battle tactics, which is cool.
Wow. No, that's huge. Yeah, and so that's the leadership forged in battle. That's the special rule of this one. And yeah, at the start of your hero phase, any friendly galley champ or contesting objective that's wholly outside your territory, you can pick 2 battle tactics to complete in that turn instead of only 1. That's huge. That's massive.
Yeah.
You can rack up a super early lead score on that potentially.
In fact, it says contesting, doesn't it? So I
Yeah,
was
doesn't
playing
even need to
that
be controlling
wrong.
it. Yeah.
Yeah,
Just
because
needs to be contesting it.
I was thinking with my super sneaky, it specifically says that it happens after you determine control of objectives. So I was thinking you wouldn't be able to do that, but I suppose you could like super sneaky your hero on and pick 2 battle tactics. Could be cool.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, it's pretty cool. So yeah, but you just need to a super sneaky start of as well.
It's before determining who goes first, so that's why
Ideal.
battle regiment.
Ideal. There you go. Ideal. Cool. So that's cool. That's that one. Then we have the Jaws of Galais. So yeah, I had a fun time with this one. Against Sylvaneth that could basically get to any objective on the battlefield, and then just started removing them. So I couldn't really get to them. So we have Swallowed by the Caverns. So at the start of each battle round after priority has been determined, the player taking the second turn in that battle round can pick 1 objective on the battlefield to be swallowed by the caverns below. If they do so, that objective is removed from play. So yeah, just being able to just go, no, get that to heck, and then yeah. So you could actually end up in a game where battle round 5 you're just fighting over the 1 objective.
Yeah.
Which is hilarious.
In your territory.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, and then standard fare again, score 1, 2 more, and then battle tactic as well. So yeah, interesting deployment this one as well. Weird kind of L shapes around the 5 objectives.
Another L shape next.
Another L shape, love it. Then we're on to battle plan 4 hours for the taking. Just bizarre. Another
This is
just
amazing.
L.
This one.
So we've got home objectives. So these are pointed out. The objective on the border of each territory is the home. Okay, perfect. Then we've got the victory points scored. So you get 1, 2. What's that? 1 victory point if you control the home. Okay.
Yeah.
1 victory point if you control the center. Cool. 2 if you control the enemy's home objective. Okay. 1 victory point if you control the center objective and that objective is being contested by a friendly GC. Okay. And then 2 victory points for your battle tactics. So that's a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What's that? So you can get 7 points per turn on this one.
I played this with Mortal Khorne, which is like one of the armies I was saying that's a pretty feels bad if you can't do battle tactics. It's not so bad when you're lining up 11 inches away from the center of your opponent's home objective.
Yep.
Like you only need to walk 5 inches and then you're inside.
And you've got
their objective circle.
So close.
So you have to defend it. Like you can't just give up a full whack of 7 points turn 1.
Correct.
So yeah, you're going to have a scrap pretty early on, but then at the
That's
same
so
time,
funny.
you need to defend your own, which is what looks like about 40 inches away from
It's
your opponent's home objective. So
huge
yeah,
distance. Yeah, like so it's interesting. It's like you're gonna have to split your army into two and just go like you're at home and then this one's you're attacking their other home.
yeah.
Like are we gonna see a kind of like a sweep round kind of effect where you
This
can you're holding your home, but then you kind of make your way to the kind of middle then to their home.
this is my favorite mission because I think this is maybe one of the only missions that they've ever done where it's actually like a really good payoff to being the last to deploy your army.
Yeah.
Like if your opponent sets up for the one drop and you can just completely counter their entire, like if they decide that they're going to bunker on their home objective, and you've got like a really aggressive melee army that's now going to be able to just get into their bunker because it's only 11 inches away.
Yep.
Like that's amazing. I really like the ability to counter deploy on this one. I think
Yeah.
that'll be
No,
quite
it's pretty
important.
cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
No, I like that. Yeah, very skewy one. Then we're on to the fifth new one, which is called Twists and Turns. I like it. So another L, kind of
Yep.
L shape, and then we have 5 objectives straight down the diagonal of the map.
Do
Two
we
of
though?
them, two.
Do
Yes, we do. The two of the objectives are the middle is right bang in the very middle corner bits of the map as well.
Yeah.
Which is, but I don't think we've seen this since God, what was that one called where they moved every
Oh
turn?
God, yeah.
Oh God.
I know what you mean though.
Oh, I cannot
I hated that
remember.
one.
But yeah, that's when they started in the corner, then they moved into the
Mhm.
kind of the middle bit of that whole half, and then it all ended up in
Relocation
the
or
middle.
no?
No. Oh god, that was even worse. That was horrendous. No, this one was quite fun, and it just I mean, obviously it meant
Yeah.
if you were a big castle army, then yeah, you just wanted to play for the turn where
This is the
everything
one I
went
was
into the middle.
telling you about that it's random what
Yeah.
objectives
So
are
that,
active.
God, let's look at this. So we've got changing priorities at the end of each player's turn. After any victory points have been scored, the player whose turn is taking place must roll a dice for each active objective they control. Okay, you add 1 to the roll if that objective is contested by any friendly GC, and on a 1 to 3, that objective becomes inactive. On a 4 up, it remains active. And at the start of each player's hero phase, the player whose turn it is taking place rolls a dice for each inactive objective they control. On a 1 to 3, it remains inactive. Add 1 to the roll if the inactive friendly inactive objective is contested by any friendly Galician champions. On a 4 up, it becomes active once more. Holy moly, that was a lot
What
of
do you do
reading.
if you go second and you roll 5 dice and you roll 5 1s to 3s and there's no active objectives that turn? What do you do?
I think you probably go to the bar. Is that what you do?
Yeah.
Is that what you do, Nathan?
Go home.
Just go home. This sounds horrendous.
Yeah, it's a bit weird, right?
And can I just clarify? Do they all start inactive?
Let's
Does
see.
it say that anywhere?
Objectives. The objectives for this battle are either active
Oh,
or
they're
inactive.
all
At the start
active,
of the battle,
it says.
all objectives are active. Yeah, so go
Okay,
first. We've
so-
got 5 objectives to play with.
Perfect.
Go
Then,
second. How good's your karma?
oh my god.
Have you
So,
done something nice for somebody?
well, this is the thing, right? So, for so long now, we've been seeing the benefits vastly outweighing to go second, right? Most of the time, either due to the mission
Yeah.
or to the fact that you can get the double, or. But now, you've now got a huge incentive to potentially go first because you've no idea if you're going second that you're actually going to have any
Gonna
objectives
score an objective.
to
yeah.
score.
How do you deploy for this mission if you know that you've not got control of the
I
turn?
have no idea.
At the same time, if you are an army that likes to go second for the double, like say that is one of the stronger suits, you're quite a defensive army, you're not worried about losing too much of your resources and you like your opponent to come closer. How tempted are you going to be to go, nah, I'd rather just score some points?
Yeah, maybe just go, yep, I'm just going to take that out of your hands, and then just maybe try and give that feels bad to your opponent there as well. Just nuts, man.
Very bad. I can just
It's
imagine
nuts.
some people that will be tilting out their goddamn minds even before it gets to their turn They're all going to disappear. I just know.
It just doesn't matter. Doesn't matter anyway. Yeah. So yeah, this one is a bizarre one. I don't know if this is going to be making many competitive tournaments. This is a bit wild. A bit wild, this one. But yeah, cool. So that's twists and turns. I think it's well named, that one.
Yeah.
And then the last one we're going to be talking about is called Position Over Power. Ooh, this looks interesting. So we have 4 objectives. 2 are called the flank objectives. I love that we're using the word flank. That's great. That takes me back to proper Warhammer, the old world and that. So we've got they're on the very edge of the map, and then we've got 2 kind of in the middle, and yeah, so we've got lost in the landslide at the start of the 4th battle round. The flank objectives are removed from play. Oh my, okay, so there's more objective removal, and then for this one we have score 1, 2 more. Yep. Oh, hold on. Yes, 1, 2 more, good. And then we have 1 victory point if you control any flank objectives that are contested by a friendly galley champ. Okay, so here we go. We're going to need some galley champs to pull some work here. And then, yeah, just your battle tactics. So you can score 6, really, max in this, right? Because it's any, it's not each. So it's 1 victory point if you control any flank objectives. Yeah, cool. So you can
You're
just
a
kind
scientist. Can you work out the distance to the objective?
I'm a scientist. So where are we talking here, Nathan?
So you need to be 9 away from enemy territory on deployment.
So you need to be 9
and
away.
Then the objective is 15 inches along. So come out 6, so 9.
So we're basically what we're saying is we're trying to find the hypotenuse of a triangle that has a side of 9 inches and a side of 15 inches.
Something like that.
Something like that.
Sounds like a made-up word that you just used, but yeah, that.
For everyone at home, that was not hippopotamus. That was hypotenuse. I've no idea, mate. That's some trigonometry there, son.
Yeah.
Gonna have to try and work out. I'm gonna say it's about 16 inches.
Yeah.
Let's just throw a number out there. I'm gonna say it's about 16.
Go.
This is the one where you have to do like 9 squared plus 15 squared. I have no idea, right? It's been a long time since I've had to work any of that stuff out. I'm a colouring in scientist. I'm not like a math scientist. So yeah, unless it's like animal facts, I'm kind of out of the loop here, mate.
What's that? 12.7, apparently.
12.7. Okay. So that's not too bad. So you just what are we measuring out here? Just to be able to. I'm just thinking it can't be because the diagonal surely has to be longer, right?
No, it's because it is though, right? So the point of the objective is 15 inches along, but obviously you get within range of the objective within 6 inches of that point.
Gotcha.
So it's really 9 and 9, isn't it? So 9 inches, 9 inches. So yeah, 12.7. So you need to be able to move 12.8.
Oh, we've just had Stephen Dale in the chat. Thanks, Stephen. He's saying it's 17.78 inches right to the centre of that objective there. So yeah, you just have to be able to move. You just have to move 6, and then you auto run to get it right. Easy, easy peasy. Oh. Sorry, all you Fire Slayers guys, and Stormcast heroes that only run 5, don't teleport. But yeah, so that's fine. And yeah, this one it looks okay. You're gonna start. You're gonna start 18 apart. You're gonna want to send some GCs out to one flank. I don't see you maybe splitting up. You might, because then you're maybe gonna have to be able to get that battle tactic we're talking about. So yeah. Definitely an interesting one.
The way that I tend to play most games is like you look at the mission and see how you're going to cut the table. This one looks quite difficult to cut, right?
It does, yeah.
Unless you've got a disposable GC. Like if you've got these buff heroes, like you're not going to be firing off your Crusader, are you? Or your Spirit of Torment. Like what do you send? Do you need to
I
then
send I
like an
send
expendable one?
I send a 90-point Tomb Banshee, Nathan. That's what I
Well,
send.
that's what I mean. Like, so
Yeah.
are we gonna start seeing the like? I'm thinking,
I
oh,
think you
I'll
will.
take a Merc Knob into my army and just
Yeah.
throw him off if my opponent has no magic. Like,
I think you will see that. I think you'll maybe see people
yeah,
just factoring in. I need a cheap galley champ. They said galley vet. I need a cheap galley champ that I can just throw away, don't care about. But
yeah,
it gets people victory points, and that's all
yeah.
that matters, kind of a thing. So yeah, I can definitely see that happening. Cool. Interesting one. So yeah, so that's all the missions, and then really, to be honest, that's pretty much us for the
That's it.
GHB,
Yeah.
and all the kind of changes there. We're going to have just a very very quick chat about the battle scroll. We're not going to be able to touch on all of the points that have been changed because we'll be here for hours and we've already been here an hour and 25. So we're going to wrap this up very soon, guys. We'll keep it to that hour and a half. But yeah, I think the only thing really to talk about with the battle scroll is some Daughters of Cain battle tactics. They got changed to put them in line because the galley vets kind of things have been removed. So now Witch Elves assist the slaughter for the Clash of Arms battle tactic, they get the additional victory point, and for Tide of Blades, then the units that charge, or two or more of those units that charge, have to be Witch Elves to get the additional victory point as well, which I think is okay.
No, I read that wrong. I thought that they
Yeah.
just removed the extra point.
No, they've just tied the victory points to having to do them either with Witch Elves assisted to slaughter for Clash of Arms or Witch Elves for your Tide of Blades.
Yeah, I see that.
So it makes the Witch Elf meta bit better.
Well, it was already going to be Witch Elf meta, right?
Yeah.
I was so hyped for Daughters of Cain in 3.0
Yeah.
before we got the
For
GHB
sure.
with Bounty Hunters.
Yeah, no, for sure.
I was building Witch Elves and Sisters of Slaughter, and the army was so much fun to play, so
Yeah.
good. And then Bounty Hunters came along and just
Just ruined your day. Yeah, so that's definitely Doc's definitely one that's I think you're going to see a definite meta shift from the Castle of Bow Snakes Marathi into the Fighty Snakes, and I think if you just went all Witch Elves, I think you'd
only
do
if
very
you're
well.
a canny player, you're gonna need to
Yeah.
to practice it like heck.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and I think it's going to be very much a trading army, isn't it? It's just going to be trading small
Maybe.
units of Witch Elves, maybe, just kind of back and forth, like, okay, put this unit out here, take this point, okay, you kill them, I'll send this unit in, kill them, take the point back. It reminds me kind of 40k, it's just put something out, it dies, put something else out, kill your stuff, kind of thing, to get your bonus points, but yeah.
Even the big units, you've got 4-up rally in that army. Like big units are going to be pretty good. You've got the -1 damage ritual as well, so get that
could
out.
definitely help as well.
Anymore.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, cool. So yeah, and that's it. There's no other battle scroll changes, if I'm not mistaken. That's the only magenta. And then yeah, as I say, there's a huge swathe of points changes to look at there. Now we're not going to be able to cover all of them, but I think I had asked you right just at the start of the show, like before we started the show, like, is there any army that you think that this impacts the kind of the most, and is going to have wide sweeping meta changes to do with the points? So what's your kind of pick or picks for points changes here?
You said before, and I've still not really been able to think of one.
Yeah.
Like, I think that we'll see loads of different things being tested with Stormcast, just because
100%.
of the sheer weight of changes that are there. It's not like people looked at that list and went, yeah, okay, I know what the new list is now. So it's going to take a while for that to get figured out, which is cool. I like it when that happens.
Because so obviously Stormcast, they've seen lots of changes. I can see lots of green on there, some red, but lots of green. So yeah, and I think that's definitely, it's a book it's been strong for some time, and you're going to see lots of different potential kind of list archetypes coming out of that as well.
They have access to 6-up and 5-up wards pretty reliably. And they've got some of the better GCs that don't cost a lot of points.
Yeah.
It's about 150 points for Castellan, 160.
150, 160. I mean,
8 hero, 3-up save with his own instant cast Mystic Shield, basically. He does
yep.
need to roll dice for if he
Yep.
wanted to.
Yep.
So yeah.
No, the boy the boy that I was interested in was or lady, depending, was the Knight Zephyros. That was when I was introduced to
teleport really good.
Phil again. When I was playing him in TTS, he died, went into his Sylvaneth, and just really annoying. 100-point hero that just zips about getting your battle tactics and nicking objectives. Really like that pick. But yeah, I think there's lots of playing Stormcast. You'll see lots of different builds coming out, and as you say, they've got access to mortals. They've got access to shooting. They've got access to combat. So yeah, just
Slaanesh. That was one that I said to you.
Yeah, that was another one as well.
Yeah.
Slaanesh could be pretty decent again with the summoning and things like that as well. Is going to be useful to be able to summon Galley Champs. Also, so points drops as well. Bounty Hunters is gone. Like all these things are just all little helps to Slaanesh as well, definitely, which is cool to see because we were starting to see some really cool lists coming out of them kind of near the tail end of that season.
It's actually terrifying because Slaanesh is probably in the right hands was one of the stronger armies. Like it could go toe to toe with a lot of armies. Like there's some stupid ones that would just take off, but like one of the lists I was looking at going into Masters because I wanted to play one of the bottom ranked armies was 99 Blitzbarb Archers with Sigfeld and a Contorted Epitome.
Oh my god!
And the amount that it could summon was disgusting.
Yeah.
Unreal amounts of summoning, and Blitzbarbs didn't go down in points, but everything else did. So you can now like augment that list a little bit, and like that's gonna be pretty good.
Yeah. I mean, but also screw having to paint 99 Blitzbarbs. Like,
oh yeah, that's why you can put other stuff in instead.
Like, thank God, thank God.
It was still cool though.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So we were having a wee chat. I was like, Fire Slayers? Yeah. Points drops across the board. They've got pretty tanky little Galley Champs in amongst them as well. They have spit. So they kind of it looks so. Just kind of from our kind of discussions that we've been having, Nathan, it looks as if that in order to deal with enemy Galley Champs, you've got two options. You've got take the sharpshooters, which if you've got good shooting, you can then use that, or lean into AoE mortals, which lots of different armies have access to. You've got the Branch Witch Bomb or the who's the other caster? The Slam, yeah. So you've got Sylvaneth, you've got Seraphon, you've got Teclis and Lumineth, you've got Stormcast, you've got all these different armies that have got access to AoE mortals, right? And then in Fire Slayers, you've got heroes that can pass off wounds or mortal wounds on a 3-up, and then the people that they're passing them off to have got 4-up shrug against those as well, and that's if they've managed to get through the Nulcidian Icon, which is an artifact they can take, which is a 5-up spell ignore. So if you just roll a 5-up, so like I think we can maybe see some juice here with the little stunties. They like working in a castle. They have the ability to hide their Galley Champs now really, really well from both shooting and from the AoE mortals. They have decent power projection. They are pretty sturdy as well in terms of like their ability to soak up damage. And I don't think that their battle tactic game is huge from their book, but the grand strat is great. They keep that keep the invocation is awesome. Yeah.
The battle tactics aren't too bad. I remember I played Stu, and I think that he did have a couple that he could score. They were really scoreable ones. So
yeah, definitely. I've got the book.
Like one of them is just kill a monster. I think like pick a monster and kill.
Yeah, pick a monster, kill it.
To get it ruled by Mike whether or not he could pick one wounded dragon in a unit, or if he needed to kill the unit of dragons. So cool. That's a scoreable one right away.
Yeah, definitely. There's one that I remember when I was at Six Nations. The one that because I played Fire Slayers twice then, and the one that they were always picking was you had to start your turn with less objectives than your opponent, and then get more. And I'm like, well, you're wanting to get more enemy, right? So what's that one? can't even remember the name of it now.
That is a really scoreable. Those right there is good, because if you're in the position where you're not going to get to go first and get your galley champ onto the objective, then you can just go second and hold more.
Yep.
Which is what your strategy is probably going to rely on, and get a battle tactic too.
Yeah. I think the one you were talking about there was Beast Slayer. Yeah, you pick a monster and a friendly hero. You have to kill the monster with the hero. And you've got some pretty damaging heroes and Fire Slayers. You've got the Runefather Magmajoth that can pop off. You can activate twice and do an insane amount of damage. Sean McKechnie was telling me about how many things he killed, how many points, well over 3,000 points of units that he killed at the weekend at Lasters as well with him. You've got Seize by Force. That's the one tactic. If you control fewer objectives than your opponent, and then you complete it if you hold more. So there's definitely a play in there. And again, that's just one army out of many that I just kind of looked at and was like, oh, Slayer's cool. But I'm sure there's other ones that I think they also have play. And I think the main things we need to be looking out for here, folks, is how you have to have a plan in your head of what's your battle tactic game going to look like. Have you tailored your list to be able to just auto get some battle tactics, either turn 1 or turn 2, because your opponent's going to try and be stopping you anyway. What grand strat are you going to be taking into? How are you going to be defending your galley champs against shooting and these AoE mortal wounds that are coming around as well? These are all questions that you're going to have to try and answer, because there's some really powerful lists out there that are coming, I think, and they're just going to make your day very, very bad. And I know that we've been kind of cooking some up. We're talking about some on the kind of lead up to Worlds, and there's some ones that are sounding horrendous. That Techless castle that the Honest Wargamer Rob, he was talking about the other day on his channel, it looks horrendous as well. But that's us, guys. So that's us about what 136. Thomas has asked us to keep talking because he's building my sleeves just now. But I'm very sorry we're gonna have to call it here, mate. But you keep building though. Keep building them slaves. I want to get a run out with them soon.
Warhammer he's saying. It's the Warhydra meta that you're looking for.
It's the Warhydra. Yeah, Warhydra down 15 points. Down 5 points. Sorry, not even 50. Oh my god. 5 points. Yeah. So that's us, guys. That's the GHB. I think we've been we've delved quite deep into that there, Nathan. I don't think we've missed anything. So what's your final thoughts on the new book, kind of leading into the new 6 months?
Battle Regiment stonks.
Battle Regiment
same as every Battle Tome or GHB that comes out.
Pretty much, yeah. Is there ever going to be a battalion that takes out Battle Reg? I think we definitely saw it last year with Bounty Hunters. I think there was a lot of.
Right call.
What's that? Sorry.
I still didn't think. Like
never
I've
the
played
right call.
lists that were using Bounty Hunters, and then just became better when I put them into Battle Reg.
Well, clearly you weren't using Blade Geist, so they just went nuclear with Bounty Hunters. But so I think now there is you're going to have to look at your army and your list building and just go, is this thing just better than Battle Reg? If I can just tweak this. Now, obviously with Battle Reg, you're going to have less heroes in it if you're going 1-drop. So you're only going to have 3 in there. If you've got a bigger hero that's not a galley champ, then you're then only going to have 2 left, and that does then make the world in which you live in terms of battle tactics and maybe even some of the missions scoring, because some of the victory points came from galley champs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's going to maybe make that a bit more difficult. But you could also be in the very privileged position that you just don't care, that you just go, I don't care. I'm a 1-drop.
Battle Tome ones.
Yeah, I'm a 1-drop. I just do my Battle Tome battle tactics, my Battle Tome grand strat, and jobs. I'll just kill you before you can get more points than me with your galley champs anyway. And if you're in that position, then obviously that's a very strong place to be coming from, definitely. So that's us, folks. So I think we're gonna wrap up there. So thank you once again, Nathan, for joining me on for a wee chat tonight. It's been great as always. Thank you to everyone that has been watching as well as also been taking part in the live chat as well. Thanks so much for keeping us right and telling us things like the hypotenuse of a right angled triangle. That was great. So only kind of last few things to say to you guys before we sign off is thanks to all the patrons. So your names are up there. Thank you so much for your support. If anyone is interested in becoming a patron, then please check the link below. There's loads of different tier options on there as well. And yeah, there's added benefits like your automatic entry into the monthly giveaway, or you might get some kind of list advice or one-on-one coaching and stuff like that as well, which we do offer. So yeah, please check that out. And yeah, please don't forget to enter into the monthly giveaway as well. All the rules and what you need to do are down in the description as well. And yeah, thanks to all our sponsors again. So yeah, thanks guys. So we're going to say goodnight. Thanks again, Nathan. We'll catch you later. And then thanks you everyone for watching. And please make sure to tune in next time and answer the call. Thanks guys. See you later. Bye bye.